Most riders think you need a big, heavy adventure bike to go far, but in reality, it's the lighter bikes that most riders end up flocking to. With that in mind, we're going to go over 11 lightweight adventure motorcycles that prove you don't need more weight, more power, or more complexity to ride farther and have an awesome time on the road. Let's get started. Number 11. Suzuki DR 650. Let's be honest for a second. When you picture a real adventure bike, this probably isn't it. No big screens, no rider modes, no electronics trying to impress you. So why does the Suzuki DR 650 keep showing up on rides that actually matter? Because this thing simply refuses to die. Now here's what's interesting. This bike wasn't even in our last version of this list, and that says more about the industry than the bike itself. Because while newer machines keep getting heavier, more complex, and more expensive, this stayed the same, and that's exactly why it deserves to be here now. A 644cc air-cooled single sits at the core. No complexity, no drama, just a tough old-school engine that keeps going long after newer bikes start complaining. You don't just ride this bike, you depend on it. And that changes everything. Here's the part most people don't expect. This bike doesn't try to win you over in the first 5 minutes. It grows on you. The more you ride it, the more you realize it just keeps delivering. No surprises, no excuses. Cold mornings, it starts. Long trips, it handles them. Bad roads, that's where it shines. There are riders pushing 50,000, 80,000, even 100,000 miles on these. Same engine, no rebuilds, just basic maintenance and more miles. But let's keep it real. On the highway, it feels a bit rough. Wind protection, pretty much none. Seat comfort, you'll notice it sooner than you'd like. So why do riders still choose it? Because when things go wrong, simple wins. Lightweight wins, reliable wins. And this bike delivers all three without trying to be anything else. No distractions, no overthinking, just a machine that keeps moving forward. Now ask yourself this. Do you want a bike that looks ready for adventure, or one that's already proven it can survive it? Number 10. KTM 690 Enduro R. This one's different, and you'll feel it immediately, because the KTM 690 Enduro R doesn't try to make adventure easy, it makes it possible. Big difference. Right away, you notice the power. That 693cc single isn't just strong, it's aggressive. Twist the throttle and it jumps. Not politely, not smoothly, it moves like it wants to break free. So ask yourself, are you ready for that? Because this isn't a beginner bike. It's light, it's fast, and it demands your attention. Here's where things get interesting. Most bikes in this category try to balance road and dirt. The 690, it leans hard into dirt. That's where it feels alive. Rough trails, loose gravel, uneven terrain, this is where it starts to make sense. The suspension? Top tier. It soaks up hits without flinching. The chassis stays planted when other bikes start to feel overwhelmed. And the weight? This is the key. It's light enough that when things go wrong, and they will, you can actually recover. That confidence changes how you ride. But let's slow down for a second. On the highway, it's not relaxed. Wind protection? None. Comfort? You're making a trade. And that's the whole point. This bike isn't trying to be everything. It's built for riders who care more about control than comfort, more about terrain than convenience. So why do people choose it? Because when the road disappears, this thing doesn't hesitate. It keeps going, faster than most. Before we get to the next bike, let me ask you, do you want a bike that makes adventure comfortable or one that makes it possible when things get hard? If this is helping you narrow things down, hit like so more riders see it, and tell me in the comments, which bike are you leaning toward right now? Save this so you don't forget it later and share it with someone who's trying to pick the right ADV bike. If you want more real-world breakdowns like this, subscribing just means you won't miss what's coming next. And when this video ends, head to the channel page. Your next favorite motorcycle might already be waiting there. Number 9. Honda CRF 300L Rally. This one might surprise you, because at first glance, it doesn't look like much. Small engine, skinny body, not a lot of power. So why do so many riders trust the Honda CRF 300L Rally for real adventure? Because it keeps going when bigger bikes stop. Simple as that. Power comes from a 286cc single. Not fast, not flashy, but incredibly forgiving. Twist the throttle and it responds smoothly. No surprises, no drama. And that matters more than you think. Here's the shift. Most adventure bikes are built for comfort first. This one, built for control. It's light, narrow, easy to manage. The moment the road turns loose, rocky, or unpredictable, this bike starts to make sense. Ever dropped a heavy ADV bike? Yeah, this changes that conversation. The rally version adds just enough. A bit more fuel range, a windscreen, slightly better comfort for longer rides, but don't get it twisted. This is still a dirt-first machine, and you feel it. On the highway, it's working. Passing power, limited. Long-distance comfort, you'll need patience. But off-road, that's where it wins. It stays balanced, predictable, easy to correct when things go wrong. And for a lot of riders, that confidence is everything. Here's a question. Do you want power or control? Because this bike chooses control every time. And sometimes, that's exactly what gets you home. Number 8. Suzuki V-Strom 650. This one doesn't try to impress you, and that's exactly why it does. The Suzuki V-Strom 650 has been around for years. Not because it's flashy, but because it's always been one of the most reliable bikes out there. So let me ask you this. What if the best adventure bike is the one you never have to think about? That's this bike. A 645cc V-twin drives the experience here. Smooth, predictable, almost boring at first. But give it time, and you start to appreciate what it does. No surprises, no weird behavior, just steady usable power. Here's where it stands out. Long rides feel easy. The riding position is upright, natural. You're not fighting the bike, you're just riding. Hours go by and you realize you're not tired. That matters. Now flip the script. What happens when the road gets rough? Gravel, it handles it. Broken pavement? No problem. Tight technical trails? That's where you start to feel the weight. Because yeah, it's not light. And that's the trade-off. This bike leans more toward road than dirt. It's not pretending to be a hardcore off-road machine, and honestly, that's a good thing. Because most riders, they spend way more time on pavement than they admit. And this is where the V-Strom wins. Reliability is a big part of it. These engines go forever. 50,000, 80,000, even 100,000 miles with basic care. No drama, just miles. Here's something for you to ponder. Do you want a bike that can do everything, or one that makes everyday riding feel easy? Because this next one quietly does both without making a big deal about it. Number 7. Yamaha Tenere 700. This one wasn't on the list before, and that raised some eyebrows, so let's address it. Yes, it's heavier than most lightweight bikes, no question, but here's the reality. Once you ride it, that number stops mattering as much, because the Yamaha Tenere 700 doesn't feel like its weight on paper, and that's why it earns its spot here. At its core is a 689cc parallel twin, same DNA as the MT-07, but tuned for control, not chaos. The power is smooth, strong, easy to use when things get rough, and that's the key word here, usable. Now here's where it separates itself. This bike was built with dirt in mind, not as an afterthought, not as a marketing angle. You feel it in the chassis, the balance, the way it stays planted when the surface gets loose. It doesn't panic, but just keeps tracking forward. The suspension helps a lot. Long travel, well-tuned, it absorbs hits without throwing you offline, and that gives you confidence, and confidence changes how you ride. But let's keep it honest. It's tall. It's heavier than a true lightweight. At low speeds, you feel it, and that matters. But once you're moving, different story. The bike settles in, feels stable, predictable, almost calm in situations where other bikes start to feel nervous. And that's why bringing it into this list makes sense. Because this isn't about numbers, it's about what works in the real world, and this bike works. It's simple, durable, proven, no excess electronics, no distractions, just a machine built to go far and handle what comes with it. So while it may not fit the category perfectly on paper, on the road, and off it, it absolutely belongs here. Number 6. Aprilia Tuareg 660. This is where things change. Up to now, a lot of these bikes make compromises. Power, comfort, capability, something always gives. The Aprilia Tuareg 660 doesn't feel like a compromise, and you notice that fast. A 659cc parallel twin powers it. Smooth, strong, but not overwhelming. Twist the throttle and it responds clean. No spikes, no surprises, just usable power when you need it. Now here's the real story. Balance. This bike feels lighter than it is. The weight sits low, the steering feels natural, you're not fighting it, you're working with it, and that changes your confidence right away. Ever ridden a bike that just clicks? This is one of those. The suspension plays a big role. Long travel, well-tuned, it absorbs rough roads without throwing you off. Gravel, broken pavement, uneven terrain, it stays composed. And that matters more than horsepower. But let's slow it down. On paper, it looks like a midway ADV. In real life, It feels closer to a lightweight. That's rare. Comfort is another win. Upright position, good wind protection. You can actually spend hours on this thing without feeling beat up. But it's not perfect. It's more expensive, it's more complex than something like a DR 650, and long-term reliability still being proven. So why is it here? Because it hits a sweet spot most bikes miss. It gives you real off-road capability without sacrificing road comfort. That balance is hard to get right, and when you ride it, you feel it. So here's the question. Do you want a bike that forces you to adapt to it, or one that feels ready for whatever you throw at it? Number 5. Kawasaki Versys-X 300. This one catches people off guard, because on paper, it doesn't look impressive. 300cc? Really? So why does the Kawasaki Versys-X 300 keep showing up on long trips, back roads, and even cross-country rides? Because it punches way above its weight. This one uses a 296cc parallel twin, not a single. That detail matters. It revs high, smooth, almost like a small sport bike engine. You can cruise at highway speeds without it feeling stressed. That's rare here. Most bikes this small feel tapped out at 65. This one still has more to give. Now shift your mindset for a second. This bike isn't about raw power, it's about momentum. Keep the revs up, stay in the right gear, suddenly it feels alive. And kind of fun. It's also light, easy to manage. When the road turns to gravel or broken pavement, it doesn't fight you. It stays predictable, calm. That builds confidence fast. And then there's range. You can push over 200 miles on a tank, sometimes more. That changes how far you're willing to go in a day. Fewer stops, more riding. But yeah, it's not perfect. Passing power is limited, two-up riding feels cramped, serious off-road, you'll hit the ceiling. Still, people keep choosing it. Because it's simple, reliable, and way more capable than it looks. It doesn't intimidate you, it invites you in. And once you get it, you start riding more. Number 4. Honda CB 500X. This is the quiet one. No hype, no drama, no big personality. And somehow, that's exactly why riders keep coming back to it. The Honda CB 500X doesn't try to impress you in the first 5 minutes. It wins you over slowly, mile after mile. A 471cc parallel twin handles the workload. Smooth, predictable, easy to manage. Not fast, but never feels weak where it matters. And here's the thing. It's one of the easiest bikes to ride well. Throttle response is clean, power builds in a straight line, you don't have to think about it, you just ride. Ever get on a bike and feel relaxed right away? That's this. Now let's talk about what makes it special. That engine is known for going the distance. High mileage, low stress, minimal issues. This is one of those bikes that just keeps showing up year after year without complaints. And then there's the balance. Not too heavy, not too light, low center of gravity. It feels planted on the road, but still manageable when things get loose. The newer versions improved a lot too. Bigger front wheel, better suspension, more confidence off pavement. Not extreme, but capable enough for real-world riding. That's the theme here. Real world. Highway miles? Easy. Commuting? Effortless. Gravel roads? No problem. But push it hard off-road and you'll feel the limits. And that's okay, because this bike knows exactly what it is. Reliable, comfortable, practical. No ego, no nonsense. Just a machine that does everything well enough and keeps doing it for a very long time. Number 3. KTM 390 Adventure. This is where things start to feel sharp. Not just capable, sharp. The KTM 390 Adventure doesn't ease you in, it wakes you up. Right away, you feel the difference. Power comes from a 373cc single, but it doesn't feel small. Twist the throttle and it responds fast, quick, snappy. It wants you to move. And that changes the whole ride. Now pause for a second. Most bikes in this class feel like they're holding back. This one doesn't. It feels eager, almost impatient. That's rare. Then you notice the tech. Traction control, cornering ABS, ride modes. On a bike this size, that's not normal. And it actually helps when conditions get sketchy. Wet roads, loose gravel, sudden stops. It gives you a safety net without killing the fun. And the chassis? Tight, responsive. You point it, and it goes. No hesitation, no wandering. It feels more like a street bike when you're on pavement, which brings up something interesting. This bike leans more road than dirt. It can handle gravel, back roads, light trails, But push it too far off-road and you'll start to feel its limits. And that's okay, because where it shines is everywhere else. Commuting feels easy. Weekend rides feel exciting. Twisty roads, that's where it really comes alive. Fuel efficiency is another win. You can stretch long distances without thinking about gas every hour. But yeah, it's not perfect. The seat can get firm. The engine can feel a bit vibey at times. And still, riders keep coming back to it, because it delivers something a lot of bikes don't. Energy, precision, a ride that actually feels alive every time you twist the throttle. Number 2. Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. This one feels different right away. Not fast, not aggressive, but very solid. The Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 isn't trying to impress you with numbers, it's trying to earn your trust, and it does that quickly. A 452cc liquid-cooled single marks a big step forward, more power than the old version, around 40 horsepower, but more importantly, it's smoother, cleaner, easier to live with. You feel it on the road. No harsh vibes, no struggling at speed. It can actually cruise on the highway without feeling like it's working too hard. That alone changes everything. Now think about this for a second. How many bikes in this category feel calm and capable at the same time? Not many. And that's where this bike stands out. The chassis is stable, predictable. It doesn't feel nervous when the surface changes. Gravel, broken pavement, uneven roads, it stays composed. You're not constantly correcting. And that gives you confidence fast. Then there's the ergonomics. Upright seating, wide bars, natural position. You don't feel cramped. You don't feel stretched. You just settle in and ride. And the weight? Carried low. That's the trick. It feels more manageable than the numbers suggest, especially at lower speeds. But let's be clear, it's not built for speed, it's not trying to be flashy. And that's exactly why it works so well in the real world. Because this bike is focused. Simple where it should be, capable where it matters, comfortable enough to keep going when other bikes start wearing you down. You get on it and it just feels right. Not overwhelming, not underwhelming. Just ready for whatever the road turns into. Number 1. CF Moto 450 MT. This is the one that changed expectations. Not slowly, not quietly, all at once. Because for years, budget adventure bike meant compromise. Cheap suspension, weak engines, corners cut everywhere. Then this showed up. At the heart of it is a 449cc parallel twin, around 44 horsepower. But numbers don't tell the full story. It's how the power feels, smooth, usable, and strong where you actually ride. Twist the throttle, and it responds clean. No hesitation, no weird gaps. Now look closer. Spoked wheels, long travel suspension, 21-inch front. That's not styling, that's intent. This bike is built for real terrain, not just pavement with gravel sprinkled on top. And here's the surprising part. It doesn't feel cheap, at all. The chassis feels planted. The suspension actually absorbs hits instead of bouncing off them. You hit rough roads and the bike stays composed. That builds confidence fast. Ever expect less and get more? That's this bike. On the road, it tracks straight, stable at speed, comfortable enough for longer rides without feeling like a chore. Off-road, it feels balanced, manageable. It doesn't fight when things get loose. And that's where it earns this spot, because it delivers something most bikes in this category struggle with: capability without the price tag. But yeah, let's keep it honest, it's still a newer platform. Long-term durability, still proving itself. And for some riders, that matters. But right now, this bike resets what people expect from an affordable adventure machine. Not a compromise, not a starter bike, a real contender. And that's why it sits at number 1. At the end of the day, the best adventure bike isn't the one with the most power or the longest spec sheet. It's the one you'll actually enjoy riding. The one that fits your skill, your comfort, and the kind of roads you will actually be on. You don't need a massive, complicated machine to go far. You just need the right one for you. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like so more riders can find it. And tell me in the comments, which one are you choosing? Save this so you can come back before you buy, and share it with a friend who's still trying to figure it out. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and head over to the channel page to check out more videos on your favorite bikes.